G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to IL-2 Stromovik and the skies of Kuban. Today we're taking out the Junkers JU-88, and today's flight was actually flown last night on the IL-2 event on the unprofessional server, and was flown obviously on the live stream, so a few of you may have seen this one already. But for those of you who haven't, a recap on the current position. This is obviously Germany versus the Soviet Union in the region of Kuban. At this point the match has been running for around about an hour and a half. German forces have been pushing in heavily, we've hit multiple targets. The Soviet forces are heavy on the defensive and not leaning out to strike, and at this point we are very close to winning this mission by destruction of ground units. However, there is one key target remaining that the only person who's had a crack at it at this point is me. At the very rear of the Soviet defensive line, right near their rearward runway, which is where they launch all their primary bombers and attackers from, there's a city with a small port. Now this port is one of the key targets for the Soviet side, and it contains 4 140,000 ton oil tankers that need to be destroyed. Now, as I just said, I've already taken one crack at this port. I snuck a JU-88 up the north side of the map and dropped in from the north, managed to get inside, but totally messed up my bombing run. I managed to destroy one of the 4 tankers, but in the process of doing so messed up my dive angle, and my JU-88 ended up collecting all of the communication antennas across the top of the ship, and the results were as you would expect. So this time we're going back to finish the job. Now these tankers can take a lot of hits. I'm currently bringing a loadout of 4 500 kilo bombs. Technically one bomb should be enough to take out a ship if it lands perfectly. However, if it lands slightly offside, it will do crippling damage but not destroy it. To assist with this, there will be a second bomber coming in just in case I don't manage to take out all the ships on my own. However, they haven't taken off just yet. Now the flight to get to this base, as I said, this is IL-2 map sizes. The flight time was about 30 minutes. Now the first flight we came in around the north and came down south. It actually took longer to do, but it got us there without being detected. However, I strongly expected that that path would be covered due to the Soviet defense. So the second attack, I decided to do something a little bit crazy. Low altitude, max throttle, tuned for speed, straight past both their air bases into the town. A direct line from the Luftwaffe second runway, our bombing runway, all the way to the target zone. Now while this did work, I was very lucky. I almost got detected. As you just saw, an aircraft crossing over the nose of my JU-88 at low altitudes. This was a defensive fighter of the Soviet forces coming in. I wasn't entirely sure exactly what aircraft it was, but it was heading back in to defend a runway after a couple of German bombers decided to actually attack it. I was very close to getting spotted at that point. However, we did manage to make it to the harbour undetected. Now as you can see, visibility is, well, let's put it bluntly, it's shit. Visibility is about 800 meters at maximum. The misty bottoms of the clouds start at about 700 meters but become true clouds at around about 1 kilometer, and as you can see it's also snowing, which makes getting a really fantastic angle to make these attacks slightly difficult. However, we have 2 ships together. Now you can see one of them's already smoking. That is one that I crippled with my first bombing attack, but did not manage to destroy. First bomb away, and unfortunately it missed. I released the bomb slightly too soon and from a bad angle, and the bomb wound up hitting the docks rather than actually hitting the ships themselves. So that's one of my 500s out. So at this point I'm taking the JU-88 into a long left-hand bank. We're not going to go back for the 2 ships that were stuck together. They will be a return target, but there is a single ship on its own just a little bit further up. It's perfectly aligned for us to line up on its full length, increasing the chances of us actually getting a bomb to accurately hit home. So, bringing the nose around and leveling out. Now we're dropping low and fast. I'm trying to keep ourselves in the clear where we have best vision, and at this point gunners have just fired. I'm not entirely sure at what at this point. As it turned out, it was Grievous taking up one of the gunner positions. All the aircraft in IL-2 of course being fully multi-crew, with players able to man all of the gunner positions, and bomb release and detonation. Now we did hit the ship and we did do damage to it, but the bomb slightly missed the hull and actually detonated in between the hull and the dock line, so the ship wasn't destroyed. Took a lot of damage but wasn't taken out, and that's 2 bombs down. I've only got 2 left and I need these 2 bombs for the remaining 2 ships, or at least at the time I thought I did. So again, long bank around the town. This time we're pulling in a little bit tighter because I'm looking to line up on the 2 ships. Now one's crashed into the other due to the damage it's sustained, it's smoking, but both ships are still viable targets. Again, coming in, very shallow bombing angle this time, just above the height of the ships, and police 1 and 2. Pull into a climb. 2 explosions, one in the water, one on the ship. Now, as it turned out, the second explosion did very little, or at least any damage it did do just was multiplied by the first. However, the first bomb's detonation took out both the oil tankers. So I'm now out of ordnance. There is still 1 ship remaining, but we just got 2 ships, 2 140,000 ton oil tankers, technically with 1 bomb. I really don't think the second one did any damage there. However, as I mentioned earlier on, we are not alone. Our second aircraft has arrived and is already on its attack run to take out the second tanker. Now, unfortunately, he releases the bomb just slightly late, and it's a water landing. It was perfectly in line for the ship, but it landed just over the bow. So that ship is still a target. However, he does have a second bomb. So I decided to do a little bit of circling around the area rather than vacating out to keep eyes in the sky for him, and we immediately spot a problem. At least 1 enemy aircraft has noticed the fact that we're bombing the living shit out of the port and has come over to start defending. So our second aircraft is now under attack, and he's the only one left with the bomb. At this point, I haven't been detected, I don't think. And the Soviet fighter is engaging. Black smoke and white smoke coming off our wingman, but bomb is away, and a perfect detonation, smack bang in the middle of the forward section of the hull. So that is the last ship taken out. With all 4 ships destroyed, that is the end of the harbour outside of some factory buildings around the outside. I was initially contemplating turning onto the fighter, but that is way too much firepower, and the only weapons I have are the defensive machine guns. And as much as at this point I have players and not AI manning all the gunner positions, I didn't think our chances of actually being able to successfully defend our friend here were all that high. Thankfully, we didn't actually need to do that. The enemy fighter seemed to consider our friend's aircraft damaged beyond repair. 1 engine was down, fuel leaking out of the left wing, right engine was smoking and seized. So he turned around to come back looking for us. Of course, he didn't actually find us because I decided to take it through the mountains and bring it low. And this is one of the things I love the most about the Kuban map. It has bloody mountains, so I can put the aircraft down between them and fly nap of the earth, rather than the other IL-2 maps that are currently around, which they might have a hill on them somewhere, but that's really about it. So our dive bombing mission here was quite successful. Targets were eliminated as they needed to be, and we were in and out without attracting too much in the way of fighter attention, especially not to ourselves. More than that, this was the second last strike of this particular mission. As we were flying through the mountains and getting ready to exit our way home, making our way back towards our runway, a German force of bombers hit the 2 remaining factories that were still on the map, eliminating them. With those 2 factories destroyed, plus the loss of the ships in the harbour and the other ground units that have been destroyed over the course of the last hour or so, this mission came to a close in Axis victory. Which of course means that the mission ended before we could make it to the runway, and therefore there is no landing. I know you guys love to see the landings at the end of the videos, but there won't be one this time. Nothing I can do about that. Unfortunately, we were just playing a little too good this night. Anyways, ladies and gents, hope you enjoyed the video and thank you very much for watching. Just thought you may like to see one of the engagements from last night's event. It was a lot of fun, but there were a lot of slots on the server that could have been filled up. From this point on, when it comes to events, I'll be doing a main release video giving you the list of all of the events running in the month, and then I'll be doing a video on the day, much like I did last night, to make sure that everybody is fully aware of the upcoming event, 24 hours in advance. I'll try and be a little bit sooner. Unfortunately, events led to last night's video only being about 3.5 hours before the event was due to start, which is entirely my fault, and I'll be fixing that in the future. Anyways, in regards to the events, I will be also posting details for the events on my Facebook and Twitter from this point on, so don't forget to follow me over there. If you want even sooner updates, join the Discord server. Everything gets announced on the Discord server, or keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for the video updates as they come to pass. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. Until next time, click that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, fly smart, fly safe, and I'll catch you in the skies.